Hey there, how are you today? I have a message for you. Sacred. You know, your journey, your partnership, your soulmate, your sacred divine partner, twin flame, whatever label that you're using, whatever you want to put it underneath, it's sacred, right? It's sacred. And I'll tell you something. Sacred is sacred. Too often we get too up in our head and we get thinking about things, and a lot of times in our head comes from our wounds. It comes from the way that we've been conditioned and programmed to think. It comes from past experiences that we have locked up in our memories, right? When really what we need to do is get into our heart. We need to get into our heart and feel, and start trusting those feelings again, start trusting those vibes again, that they were there before. Get back into them and quit listening to our head, because our head talks us out of things. And that's why I was feeling this sacred is sacred. Pretty simple, hey? Sacred is sacred. Your sacred journey is sacred. And when you think about it, I want you to remember this. Sacred is sacred, okay? The way that you were made is sacred, and you were made to feel, okay? Yes, you were made to think. The only thing is that along our journey things happen, and people infuse their thoughts into our head. TV, magazines, parents, school, environment, bad experiences, right? And then what happens is we get thinking these negative thoughts and we shut down our feeling. It's not safe to love anymore. It's not safe to feel, and then that goes into it's not safe to express. It's not safe to be ourselves. Get back to that sacredness in you. Sacred is sacred. So it's not the wounds that you're thinking about. It's not that person's going to act the same way that everybody else has. Because if you think that, that's what's going to happen. I remember I had a time in my life when I woke up one day and I realized that I had been carrying around the belief that there are no good men in the world. And that's all I attracted. And I realized that I was the common denominator, right? And if I believed that there was no good men in the world, then that's all I was going to attract. That's all I was going to have around me, because that's all I could see. And I challenged myself to let that go, to try and see with new eyes. And the next thing you know, I started seeing other men out there. Like, they just came in with friends, with business opportunities, with everything. And they weren't trying to take from me. There are good men out there. I changed my belief system around that. Now that's the short story, because we're just talking here for a couple minutes. But I just want to challenge you today to bring that sacredness back into every aspect of your life, and understand that those thoughts that we think in our head, they got developed over time. They got implanted over time. And just take a look at what you're thinking. Take a look at what's trying to stop you, and think, is it sacred or not? Right? Would you term that sacred? I want to pull a few cards for you. I already shuffled the deck, and so I'm just going to pull off the one end of the deck, and it's the Seven of Cups. And as you see, there's a lot of choices to be made, right? You get to choose. You get to choose on your journey which choice you're going to have. Look at all those different choices there that he's got. And I want to pull off the bottom of the deck. I just feel like pulling off the bottom of the deck for you. Wow. Sacred. Two of Cups. You see the balancing of the masculine and the feminine. The balancing of that, the energy, the synergy between that, and how the cups are full. The cups are full of emotion. Look at all those beautiful colors. The cups get filled when they're allowed to flow freely. When you allow your heart to flow freely and you follow that, that's what you get. If this video is reaching you and you're all about a sacred relationship, then you're this is the card of the divine relationship, the divine soulmates, the divine counterparts, twin flames. This is the card of that connection. This is also the card of the masculine and feminine working together, right? And the next one is the Eight of Swords. Beautiful. You see, because she's looking in the mirror and it's a reflection and she's all tangled up. But that's just an image. She's actually sitting there. There's no cords on her. There's no birds on her. It was all in her mind. You see, it's all in her mind. She needs to let that go out of her mind and bring that sacredness back. And when she does, she's the Empress. And the Empress is the queen of everything. Look at that. can't even say the word, creatrix, right there. She is the queen of everything. So bring that sacredness back. Bring it back into every situation. Bring it back into your thoughts and think to yourself, am I honoring myself? Am I being sacred in this thought? Where is this thought coming from? And then bring the feelings up into it. You know, I remember a lot of times I was always told, you know, don't trust your heart, don't trust your heart, you know, and I'm kind of saying the opposite here is don't trust your mind, is because our mind shuts down our heart, like I said earlier. So trust your heart. Trust your heart. Your heart knows energy. We have energy going back and forth between our hearts and other people's hearts. And if it's good and pure, trust it. Trust that. You know, and don't ever stay in an abusive relationship, of course not. But if you've been pushing somebody away, or if you've been pushing an opportunity away from yourself because of well, I'm going to call it garbage. You know, in my life, it's been garbage I've held on to up here, where I'm not living a sacred thought, you know, a sacred belief. I'm just living the pain of something that happened in the past. So it's garbage. It's time to take that garbage out. It's time to not listen to that anymore and to get back into your heart. And what's your heart telling you, right? Your heart will always lead you to love, by the way, because it's sacred. So, take away something from today. Sacred is sacred, okay? I hope this reached you well today and that you're having a fantastic day. If you know somebody who needs this message, please share it. Of course, subscribe. I would love to see a comment how this affected you. And you have an awesome day.